Okay, folks, so I had a request from a buddy of mine to make a wedding band for him. Going to be using this 1921 Morgan Silver dollar as a coin ring liner, and then a piece of exotic lumber. This is a Purple Heart. I don't even know where the Purple Heart wood comes from. It's really cool, bright purple. I've already cut a little blank out that we're going to use to make the actual wood part. And then we're probably going to put a silver inlay line in it. Haven't decided on the size of that yet, but we'll see what happens once we get through this process of turning this into a coin ring and then trying to turn this to fit around it. It's a size 9.5, so here we go. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is anneal this coin, which basically means we need to heat it up to a nice glowing red, and then we need to quench it in water to soften the coin enough to get it to where we can start bending and folding it. Just till it starts to glow a dark, deep color. Quenched. And we will dry this off with a towel here. Okay, now it's annealed. Now what we have to do is punch a hole in it. So I've decided to make this a nice wide band. So I'm going to use this 7/16 punch. Basically make this nice and wide. What that's going to do is it's going to give me a lot of room left to lathe down any extra on the outside and get it to a nice comfortable size. So it's 9/16. Put this in here. Put in our coin. This is a Jason's Works Auto Center punch. Love this tool, just recently got this. Slide this down. There's our coin. And there we go. Coin with the hole punched in it. There's our center punch. We'll save this for later. You can use this to melt down for scrap, or we can make our own wire for the inlay in the center. So at this point, got the hole cut in the center of our coin. This is a Jason's Works die, 17-degree die, 1.5 by 1.6. I don't know if you can see that. Set the coin in here, make sure it's perfectly flush. What we're going to do now, I'm going to make sure that that part is down because that's going to be the inside of our ring. We are going to actually fold the coin in and start to make the coin ring. There's the beginning of our fold. So now what we're going to do now is this sharp edge, I need to clean that off, sand that down on the inside so that way we don't form any cracks or delamination when we complete the rest of the fold. So what I have to do now is I have to anneal the coin again, heat it up, take out the burr on the inside, and then sand it. Quench this. Dry that off. All right. Now we're annealed again. And this is the process. This is a deburring tool. So this will clean this inside edge up as best as we can. And then once we get that cleaned up like that, hit that with some 240 grit sandpaper. Do both the inside and the outside edge. All right. Now, that edge is nice and clean, sanded smooth, no cracks or delaminations from the old 100-year-old silver. All right, put the coin back in our 17-degree die. Make sure she's nice and even. And this time we're going to use a Delrin folding cone so we don't damage the interior of the coin. Move this back out the way a little bit. Right. We're going to get a smaller cone. That way she fits a little bit better. Not quite ready yet. Let's keep going a little bit with this one. Now we can size down. There we go. Okay, and that is a folded coin ring. What we're going to do next is we're going to anneal this again, clean up these edges one more time, make sure there's no splits starting to form, and then we're going to put this in a Swedish wrap. Where'd my piece of sandpaper go? Here it is. a little tricky doing this just to get the right angles for the video here. Normally I'd probably use a larger piece of sandpaper and a bigger surface back here maybe, just so I can see a little bit better. And normally I save my silver scrap too for melting down, but today, for the purpose of making this video, I can gather all that up later. All right. Basically, you just want to make sure that there's no micro cracks or anything starting to form. Nice and smooth, feels clean. I don't see any cracks anywhere in that. So now we're ready to anneal again, and then we're going to the Swedish wrap. All right, as you see here, I've marked the outside of this with a Sharpie. The reason I do that is because silver, if you overheat it, will actually start to reticulate and get bubbly and weird, and you lose some of the detail on your coin. I'm not so much worried about that. We do want to keep as clean as possible. And what that Sharpie does is, as you anneal it, you'll see that the Sharpie will disappear. And when the Sharpie disappears, that's pretty much how you know when you're done the annealing process. Take it out, quench it, good to go. As you can see, the Sharpie's pretty much gone, which means we're good to go. Almost a nice dull red in the quench. All right, now what we're going to do is the Swedish wrap method. And that involves, you guessed it, wrapping the coin. So here we go. Teflon tape, basic, simple plumber's Teflon tape. Grab this. Usually I do about 20 wraps when I'm working with silver, at least, to make sure we protect it. However, this time, since we're not worried so much about the outside details, I'm basically just going to wrap this to protect my dies and to make it go smoother through the process. And here we go. All wrapped, ready to be pushed down the die. Alright, so this is our Jason's Works Swedish wrap. And basically this is a really cool tool. You put your ring inside here and push it down, and this is going to give a nice even press so the ring comes out the bottom. This customer happens to be looking for a size 9.5 ring, which I know is pretty much, if this comes out pretty much to the bottom. We want to leave it like a size over. Through experience, I've found that once you fold these a certain direction, you need to oversize before you undersize. So rings inside, we're going to take and we're going to push this plunger inside so it gets full. Then we're going to use this and we're going to twist this and press the rest of the ring till it almost comes out down here. It's going to give nice even sidewalls, and it's going to reduce the size of this ring down close to a 9.5. All right, here we go. We are now on the arbor press, and we're going to press this down. Oops, didn't mean to hit the camera there. And that's got us pretty much all the way down to the bottom. All right, here's the Swedish wrap die. You can see the coin all the way down in the bottom there. We're going to pull that out. There's your coin. Take off the Teflon tape here. Bit of a mess. So there you go. Now we have nice even walls going all the way down. And the inside of the coin is still preserved. So now this customer wants a 9.5. Right now we are currently, it looks like about a 12. So what we're going to do is we're going to anneal this again, and we're going to push this back down the Swedish wrap and try to reduce this a couple more sizes. This time I'm going to quench this in my pickle solution so we can see, we can clean this ring a little bit. Alright, so now we have a nice clean ring. You can really see the detail in the silver. It's going to turn out nice. Alright, let's put this back in the smaller Swedish wrap. We're going to wrap this 20 more times, put this back in the small Swedish wrap, and keep on reducing. I don't know why I did 20 wraps that time, because we don't need to save the outside, but there you go. 20 wraps, ready to go. I'm going to use the smaller Swedish wrap. This was the one we used before. This is 1.4 to 1.0. Now we're going 1.1 to 0.8. So, actually, you know what? I lied to you. It's not quite fitting in there. I'm going to go ahead and go back to this one. And we're going to push it all the way through, pretty much till it comes out the bottom on this one this time. Alright. GoPro, stop recording. Oh, look at that, came right out the bottom. Alright, let's see what size we're at. There you go, that's a 10.5. So that's pretty good, actually. We probably want to go a little bit further, because what we're going to wind up doing is opening the bottom of this out a little bit before we put it on the lathe. Right now we have nice and straight walls. I don't know if you can see that right now. Because it was all the way extruded, it came out with nice straight walls on the coin, but we don't need that on the outside. We need straight walls on the inside of the ring. So what we have to do, get it almost to our target size. Basically, we need the cut edge. The cut edge of the ring needs to be our target size. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flare the reeded edge back out. So that way we have a nice even center in the middle, and then we can lathe off the flare of the reeded outside edge. Alright. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this straight in our next size here. But I'm only gonna go a little bit, because we only need to come down, what did I say? Another size maybe. So let's get this started here. And we'll see where we're at. Probably going to have to anneal. It's getting hard to push this again. Now that the cut edge is flared in, it's almost straight walled on the inside, and we're at probably a size 10. Yep, size 10 right now. So we got to go just a little bit more. I think I'm going to try to force it through without annealing it a little bit, just to get that little half a size more. To stick with the brass pusher simply because I know I'm lathing off the outside reeded edge, and it'll give me a little more power in my press, being that the coin really should be annealed again. All right, let's check that. Alright, that's pretty darn close to a 9.5 right there. We can always stretch it back out a smidge if we need to, but the inside edge of this is pretty darn good. So I think we're going to go with that. GoPro stop recording.